before I went to Gonzaga, it was 40 years of struggle. I don't know how else to say it. Like, I wish it wasn't. I wish I could say that I had this great life and everything kind of formed and I naturally fell into Gonzaga, but it was actually quite the opposite. I was born and raised into severe poverty. My dad left when I was 1, didn't want anything to do with our family. My mom was left raising us 3 kids by herself, and she didn't have an education, so it led to just years and years of being on welfare and standing in line for cheese and food and Christmas presents and coats in the wintertime. And I was actually living in my van for the first 6 weeks of my studies at SCC, doing my homework with a flashlight, and something inside me changed. I got really excited about learning because I realized that you can take my car, you can take my home, you can take my job, but you can't take what I learned. So that was something really special that I noticed I would be able to keep with me forever. And so I'm telling my son to shoot for the moon, but I'm not willing to do that. So that night I sat down and I applied for Gonzaga, and part of the application process, you have to write an essay kind of explaining why you make a good fit. And I explained everything in this letter. Like, there's never been a more intentional letter written in my life. It took them from me to Gonzaga saying, this broken man who's been poor and hungry his whole entire life, and his family is standing at your door. I'm trying to break the cycle of poverty. I hope to God you open the door. That's literally the last thing I said in the letter. And several weeks later, I got a beautiful manila envelope in the mail saying, "Rick, we've been waiting for you. Here's $35,000 to get started." Sorry, get a little worked up. And then I was off and running. I got to go to school with 7,000 20-year-olds and me. There's one other guy that was like 38 years old, and we would high five in the hallways. We didn't even know each other, but it was just like we knew that we were a little bit different,
Hi, everyone. It's with great pleasure that I salute Rick Clark, who has done such great work for our community during this health pandemic. As many of you know, he and his quarantine team have raised all kinds of money, more than $275,000 to help local businesses and people through free meal donations.
It hasn't stopped since. I mean, I graduated in 2019, it's 2025, and we're still out there just killing it. We're raising thousands of dollars for local elementary schools. We're feeding families, we're feeding kids all through the summer. We're using social media now and the power of it to accomplish some really big things. So,
hey everybody, Rick Clark with Giving Back Spokane. I am at Gonzaga University.
Yeah, so Peggy Sue is a professor at Gonzaga. She reached out to me and said, "Rick, I've been following you for a long time. I love what you do." This was a couple years ago. She reached out and said, "Would you be interested in speaking with a classroom full of student athletes?"
We're gonna raise a lot of money for a local restaurant that's struggling right now. We're gonna buy full price meals from Cochinitos, and then we're gonna deliver those meals to homeless shelters around Spokane.
What we did was we actually tapped into teaching them that, after basketball or after these sports, you're still gonna have a whole life to go live out there. And so how cool would it be to have this other piece on your resume where you actually are helping people with the stuff that you're doing? And so they took to it really well. And in that class, we raised $9,000 in 40 minutes to show those student athletes what I was talking about. And so it's really a win-win-win. And the students and the athletes really, you could tell it clicked with them. And they were starting to understand that okay, I've got my sport, I've got my future, I've got my degree going, I'm lined up, I've been lined up for my whole life, but there's this other cool thing that I can do that I've really wanted to do. I just didn't know how to do it. And now we're able to work with students, athletes to do that.
Just before the annual Craziness in the Kennel senior guard, Brazier Bolton was recognized by Spokane Mayor Nadine Woodward for the work he's done in the local community. Bolton has worked with Spokane's quarantine, helping to serve the homeless community in Spokane, working with Rick Clark on multiple projects helping those in need.
He did not play. The minute I got done with that class, he was like, "Rick, I need your phone number. I want to be in touch with you." And I was like, "Yeah, here's my number. I'm sure we're probably never going to talk that much." And he just started blowing my phone up. Any time that he had downtime, he wanted to go out in the community and help people. And I did literally tell him okay, you can't jump out of my car and run this blanket to this homeless person. You gotta let me park and let's do this. He was just so excited to do it. And then Ben Gregg was there early on, and he's been doing it with me. And now we're gonna start working with some of the women's basketball players and track athletes and stuff like that. So I'm really excited about yes, basketball is amazing and we built this great thing in Spokane, but there's other students and there's other sports out there. And I'm really looking forward to helping them kind of find their little groove or what they want to do.
My name is Greta Danny from Gonzaga's women's track and field team, and I'm really excited to help Rick raise funds for Otis Orchids Elementary because this is a perfect opportunity to make a difference in the lives of students living right here in our community.
This is the epitome of light attracts light. This is me going in there with my light on, meeting these students who their lights are on, but now they're really on, and now they're going to go out into the world and do amazing things. And it's all because we work together as a community, and it really shows that not one person has to carry the load. Thank you, Spokane. We love you. We love Gonzaga. We love Peggy Sue.
Thank you for being here. Thanks, Rick.
Yeah, and so let's help a whole bunch of people right now.